Hello, welcome. This is the Oracle of the Feather Crown Tree for March 29th. This will be the Chakras Ascension reading. This is a 17 card spread, and it will start with the column in the center, which represents the root to the crown chakra at the top, a card and a deck in each position. On the left-hand side, we have chakras associated with the earth, and on the right, ones associated with the heavenly realm, or the higher realms. Those two, the left and the right-hand side, come together to assist the chakras in the middle to provide further clarity and evolution in the messages for those. I want to wish everyone having their solar return today a very blessed birthday. And you will find that the energies presented in this reading and the other readings associated that I did with this day to be prevalent themes for you throughout the year. I think everyone, though, that's here with me and joining in on this reading, I do hope that we will be somewhat enlightened by these messages that come through. So let's begin with the root chakra. Our question for it is going to be, how can I feel supported, connected, and safe in my body to know that I am grounded in pure spirit? And we got the card flexibility. I am flexible and adaptable to change while I pursue my ambitions. And the Mother Mary Oracle will be representing the Earth Heart chakra to assist with that message. From this deck, we have Our Lady of Sweet Rest. The world is one that requires balance. While many of us know this intuitively, to live it is another thing altogether. Many of us have been taught and still believe that effort and striving are the most valuable behaviors, and that if we are not yet successful, we just aren't trying hard enough. The Divine Mother appreciates hard work, especially on those things that have meaning to you, that fill you with passion, even as they perhaps demand everything from you. But while she loves that you will not hold yourself back from the tasks at hand, she also knows that in this world there are reasons and seasons for rest and seasons of activity, and that is the natural law of the earth. It is in rest that we can not only replenish ourselves, but stop thinking about our problems for a while, to perhaps gain a different perspective, and to give life a chance to continue, maybe even rendering our problems no longer problematic. It is also in rest that we can allow the Divine Mother to help us. In rest we become receptive. We need to be open in order for her wisdom and light to permeate our body and mind, to infuse within us her guidance so that we feel it and know it. It is hard to be open if you are huddled into an exhausted ball on the floor, completely overwhelmed by stress. If you have been praying about something happening in your life, a resolution or a manifestation, and wanting it to appear, this oracle comes with the guidance that all creation happens in time. Even in the stillness of winter, when the earth is resting, there is much invisible preparation happening for the flowering and buzz of activity as new life emerges in the spring. Do not lose hope, just have patience and know that all things come in time. The Sacral chakra. How can I be empowered to take creative risks in the world within the realization that I am the Divine Feminine? From the Guide to the Art Oracles, we have Artemisia Gentileschi. Themes. History has your back. Society stabs you in it. Use your talent like a weapon. Don't let convention confine you. Artemisia put a crack in the Baroque ceiling by painting one in collaboration with her artist father. Though denied important artistic education and experience on account of being female, she still pursued figure painting, inspired by works of her family friend Caravaggio. Her dramatic, sometimes violent works saw immediate recognition, but were then neglected until 1970s feminists stepped in. As a teenager, she took her art instructor to trial in a high-profile rape case. She won, but not without going through hell. Some read her biography into her subsequent paintings, which often depict biblical heroines kicking ass and taking heads. And the well matrix will be assisting at that, the well chakra. We will be using the Myths and Mermaids deck here, and we have Mermaid with a black sea serpent. A desperate young mermaid clings to her dark pet, uncertain of herself. She is afraid to let go, afraid to stand on her own 2 feet. Her reliance is unhealthy and draining, but addictive. You have spent too much time seeking out approval and love from others. You cling to relationships long after they have lost their vitality and value to you. Start to cultivate your self-love and rebuild your self-worth before you proceed further in your relationships, your profession, and your real life. Your inability to let go and stand on your own is detrimental to your personal growth. Take inventory of your strengths and weaknesses. Learn to love and make use of your competencies and ameliorate your shortcomings. Speaking to yourself as you would speak to a beloved child, not with a deriding, hypocritical voice we reserve only for ourselves. Embrace yourself and let go of anyone and anything that prevents you from standing on your own 2 feet. The solar chakra. How can self-respect and self-compassion make me aware that I am the master of my own universe? From the Earth Warriors Oracle, we have Didiri, hearing truth. Focus on what you know to be true by tuning in to what you feel and not focusing on appearances or the opinions of others. There is a voice of spirit deep within you. Anytime you want or need guidance, you have the ability to tune into that inner voice, bringing peace, comfort, and clarity. It takes courage to turn within rather than putting your faith in the people and things of this world. But you have enough inner strength and wisdom to do this. The truth within has been spoken. Trust that you can hear it. You have the intuitive ability to recognize truths of the spirit. Dadari is an Australian Aboriginal term for the deep spiritual practice of reflective and respectful listening. It is a deep listening for truth beyond physical words and their logical meaning. It is the way the shaman hears with the soul. Assisting this from the Inner Earth Cities Chakra, the Crystal Grid Oracle deck is giving us boundaries. Calcite Fairy Stone. It's also a helper and an earth anchor with other stones. By drawing this card, which is about boundaries, it is asking you to look at the walls you have built up around yourself that now need to come down. Or it may be indicating that you need to set some boundaries for yourself or others. A time of new beginnings awaits you, but you must be firm and respect yourself enough to make the changes. Calcite fairy stones have a very strong connection to the earth and will act as an anchor when meditating or journeying. It is a perfect stone to journey within and take a good look at what no longer serves you. Find your inner strength, set some boundaries, knock down a couple of walls, and start afresh. Each calcite fairy stone has a unique shape. Many look like people, so each stone has a specific purpose of its own. You can see by the concentric circles of this one that it is about boundaries. Each one has its own story to tell, but all are earth anchors. The stunning green calcite is also a welcome addition to any grid. It brings with it a sense of peace and love, reminding us that when we set our boundaries, they must come from a place of love for ourselves and others. Don't be unrealistic with your boundaries, or you might just be putting up a wall. Always be mindful of your actions or non-actions. And then from the soul star chakra to further give us some meaning here, we have the card evolution. Expansion of awareness and personal evolution comes from moving through the different levels of transformation within you. There isn't just one mountain, but many mountains within you that you traverse at each level of transformation before you ascend to higher states of awareness. There's often a period of discomfort. This period of discomfort can be quite challenging because transitions may not only affect you, but also those around you. Every mountain that you climb within you, dear one, corresponds to different sets of personal challenges. Spiritual awakening has many layers and stages. These layers are identified with the egoic sense of self and personality. To transcend or take the leap of faith from each mountain is to peel away yet another layer that represents the illusionary sense of self. These layers block you from your true magnificence. At each mountain before taking flight, you let go of what no longer serves your highest self. With every stage of transformation, your vibration is raised. You fly stronger, empowered with greater wisdom and understanding. Your soul takes this journey to grow and evolve. This, dear one, is the evolutionary path of the soul. Stay conscious of the mountains below and before you, and remember always that every mountain represents an opportunity to climb higher. I am courageous as I take that leap of faith from every mountain I traverse within me. The heart chakra. How can I cultivate joy, gratitude, love, and compassion for others so that I am cosmic love? We have Sacred Phoenix Heart from the Rumi Oracle. Love guides us through travels that seem improbable, if not impossible. It does not shy away from any challenge, from any cause. It cannot. It's just love's way. Love says to us, there is always another way. You're receiving this guidance now. Perhaps you are scratching your head quizzically or in deepest despair because you appear to have met a dead end. A frowning no or a dismissive laugh upon your request to bring love alive. So then, do you choose to believe in love or in the death of sorts of your heart faces? Your heart shall rally. I choose death because it is the portal to new life. And so it is wise, you see, but that you must be brave. To be burned in love, by love for love, will involve endurance of pain, but it will also place it in context. It is the shorter pain that is not compounded by erroneous thinking. That pain comes and goes quite quickly when you realize that love is simply playfully smacking your wrist and saying, "Not that way, beloved. There are great pitfalls on that path. Come, take this one, where there shall be wine and dancing." So you are guided to accept the closed doors, the death, the pain, and to let it become tinder for your fire. Cry whatever tears need to be cried, so that your tinder can be dry and ready to create the sparks your heart needs. That sacred phoenix, ready to die into life within you, is hungry for the fire. Let it feast so it can fulfill its potential, its divine destiny, and become born again into new form, more divinely aligned and alive than ever before. This oracle comes with a message for you. You may feel as though you have been wandering in a desert for many years with no oasis in sight. You might have been through darkness, through trials, endured confusion and uncertainty. As you sought for your truth, sought divine revelation, and sought your purpose to confirm your plans. Seek no more the answers now given, or very soon will be, and the life, the passion, the purpose. It will all come to you in clarity. From the earth, the Dolphin matrix will be represented by the Kuan Yin oracle. We have the card Weave the Future Golden. Do you know how much the divine wishes to support and assist you in living your heart's truth this lifetime? Kuan Yin, with grace and compassion, wishes to help you ascend to the next level in your life. Expression so that your soul light may shine more brightly on the planet and help you and other beings to live with more heart and less fear. You can choose to live a life infused with the golden energy of peace, prosperity, joy, and creativity. A future so golden is being woven into your present moment now, like a tapestry, with the choices and actions that you make in this moment. You call into being the divine golden tapestry of future bliss. Clever you. Kuan Yin is aware that there are opportunities and assistance waiting for you in your future embodiment. She wishes to assist you in drawing those future gifts into the present moment where they can be of most use to you. This oracle indicates that there is something special waiting in the wings for you. And if you wish to do so, you can receive healing and elevate your vibration so that you are able to receive it more readily. Sitting with joy in your heart, whether it relates to something specific or not, is magnetic to the good that the universe wishes to deliver to you. It is like switching on inner light on a high voltage so the special opportunities perfect for you can find their way to you more swiftly. And if your great good comes in an unexpected form but still feels wonderful, accept it. Your future golden will come into your life in the most beautiful ways, and usually, if it is not exactly as we imagined it is even more perfect for us. And from our spirit chakra, we have the message, let go. Once you let go of the outcome, you'll be able to release all the emotional constraints that have held you back in the past. Trust in the higher good and guidance of spirit, as we have only your best intentions at heart and will do everything in our power to protect you. We're here to show you that by letting go of your present outcomes, it's sometimes necessary to take an alternative route to your destination in life. Equally, as you navigate a new route, you may find that the ultimate destination changes to one that's for your higher good. Don't ignore signs and symbols that are presented to you at this time, as this is Spirit providing directions and pointers to guide you along your journey. Be brave and let go of the plans and ideas that are not working. Trust and follow the energy that is guiding you in a new direction. Energy is like the ebb and flow of the tide, and through a higher awareness, you can tap into that energy and flow with it. Past inhibitions, self-doubt, and confidence issues fade away as you let go, and trust that Spirit will guide you where you need to be. The throat chakra. How can I articulate my honest truth to be a co-creator with God? The inner truth. Truth is not found by adopting certain beliefs or by social conditioning. It is the silent voice of the heart that responds to what is, with detached clarity untainted by emotionalism that is always available but often ignored. It is experienced as intuitive knowing that sees through the problems, blocks, and barriers conjured up by becoming overly fixated on achieving and attaining. It needs no support or approval. Whenever we are humble enough to respect the integrity of the inner voice and heed its guidance, the effect is a transformative one. The inner voice is the voice of your own consciousness that is serene and spacious and never distorts. It is founded on the recognition that love is your essential reality, and that the denial of love is the source of all illusion, pain, and suffering. It is the cool flame of awareness that eternally guards your birthright, the experience of inner peace. Remembering that your perceptions and interpretations are colored by your state of mind not only sheds a different light on what you call reality, but will assist you in taking greater responsibility for your thoughts and actions. That state of mind can be a shifting and transitory thing. And when it is not, and when it is not truth. Truth is eternal and unchanging. It never grows old. It transcends the limitations of time and space. The preoccupations and worries of the ordinary mind are nearly always in support of the ego and its illusions. In other words, your thoughts, in part, create your experience. Heaven and hell are both seeds in your mind, just waiting for you to think them into being. If you're interested in inner truth more than holding on to any belief about truth, it's wise to remember that ego is the ultimate trickster. It will do anything to keep you engrossed in its fictions as long as you're willing to play the game. However, once you've really had enough and begin questioning what lies behind the apparent reality of your life, you've entered totally new territory. In spiritual terms, it is known as being on the path. Walking the path is a lifetime journey that leads you within toward aligning with inner truth. We humans become teased by the same longings, hopes, and fears, and are intimately joined as brothers and sisters, regardless of our skin color, spiritual affiliations, or land we live on. We intrinsically share the same potential for realization. We are one, and so is truth. The inner truth of each being survives despite our ignorance, endures beyond our occasional acts of selfish immaturity, and sustains us whether we ever recognize it or not. Acknowledging that and being moved by the reflection of truth in others is liberating. The experience of inner truth ultimately is in your attitude. It is not a point of debate, but a deep knowing that is part of your fundament. If it is a source of doubt, you have missed it entirely. And the Earth Star chakra will have a card from the Power deck. And this card is nurturing. Only we can heal ourselves, sometimes with assistance, sometimes without. Our energy or chakra system corresponds to the energy flow from the Earth. If you listen and feel, Mother Earth will heal you as you heal her. With a nurturing force of timeless give and take, prayer enables you to take power out of the mind and then place it in the hands of the earth and sky deities. Try to see through the mirage of social barriers that cloud the eyes of women and men the world over. Nurture your dreams, act in your dreams as if you want to act, as you want to act. Find the guarded kivas, the sacred places where you have hidden your heart, and nurture your spirit. And from the universal chakra, we are using Work Your Light Oracle deck here. We have Align Your Life for the card. What is not aligned or needs to change? What in your life is no longer in alignment with who you truly are? We are cyclic beings in a constant state of change, of evolution, of growth. Change is one of the only certainties of life. When you resist your cyclic nature, you resist life and feel stuck. Many of us have learned to be who the world wants us to be. But there comes a time when it is harder to hold on to this facade than it is to embrace who we truly are, to surrender to how we have changed and aligned life to that way of being. If you have pulled this card, you're being called to let go of who you once were or the things that you once defined yourself by. The job, the relationship, and the mask you wore, and to embrace who you truly are now. To courageously step into the person that you came here to be in full authenticity. To embrace your weirdness and your uniqueness. Perhaps you have outgrown some relationships or circumstances, and it is time to reassess and bring all the parts of your life into alignment so that they are congruent with who you really are today. What in your life is not aligned or needs to change? The third eye chakra. How can I be focused, determined, and receive guidance to realize my full potential? From the sacred geometry cards, we have Wheels of Light. Chakras are the human body's subtle rainbow energy centers. The primary chakras are 7 spinning vortexes of energy and light. Simple attributes credited to these chakras from base to crown include survival and grounding, sexual energy and emotions, willpower, self-confidence and laughter, love, heart intelligence and compassion, creativity and communication, intuition, imagination, and concentration, and union, bliss, and empathy. When they are spinning in balance, they vitalize the body and support physical, emotional, and mental well-being. Pulling this card reinforces your intention to balance and strengthen your energy centers so that you may better engage your purpose and act in the world as a whole, healthy being of light. Envision your chakras as a rainbow column of spinning lights. Imagine each color as spinning bright and clear. Feel each rainbow vortex aiding you in your path towards wholeness. And then a message from our galactic chakra from the Secret Language of Light deck. The card Divine Animals, Soul Companions on your journey. Spend time with your pet or in the company of any animal to realize the same light that flows through you flows through all living creatures. We all create different containers for our soul experiences, depending on our individual desires and dreams. Humans experience greater contrast than animals. That is why our influence and creations are wider reaching. However, this also makes it easier for us to split and stray from our hearts. Animals reflect the divine love that we are. When we are aroused, when we are around animals, it is easier to move into alignment, where we can be inspired to grander creations. People often believe they receive unconditional love from an animal. As an animal, it is more likely to be aligned with its soul instinct and doesn't need you to be different to who you are for it to feel loved. You will feel free to be who you are. When you emulate this behavior for yourself, life becomes more relaxed, loving, and your relationships will catapult to a whole new level of joy. The crown chakra. How can I trust in inner guidance to be my true self? I care for the earth. A pearl is made when a parasite or a grain of sand finds its way into the shell of an oyster and begins to irritate the insides. From this irritation, the oyster creates an enamel called nacre, or mother of pearl, around the strange visitor, and after some time, the intruder eventually evolves into a pearl. Our lives are polished by the metaphors with which we view our container of infinity. Metaphor perhaps being meta for the language of myth and metamorphosis. In Egyptian mythology, Geb is known as the netter of the earth. He is husband to Nut, the goddess of the sky, son of the god of air, Shu, and the goddess of moisture, Tefnut, grandson of the creator, Atum. Yet in modern mythology, we've commonly come to refer to the earth as a she, perhaps stemming from the Greek primordial deity, Gaia, believed to be the mother of all life. The world, in the context of the major arcana, is the last card of the tarot, and considered an archetypal metaphor related to a cycle coming to completion, a climax, or a passing of initiation. In applying the feminine understanding to this ideal, we seek to appreciate Mother Earth as a sentient being, similar to the perception of Gaia. She is a bed for souls to awaken within the material plane, the oyster by which pearls are cultivated, a living spirit of the elements synthesized into a sphere. A parasite means an organism that lives in or on another organism and benefits, but the word also carries a threatening or negative connotation of something that feeds off its host and diminishes it. However, if we view this definition with a feather heart, we can see beyond the adumbration to the core meaning, where there's a deep lesson to be learned when viewed from the ideal of I care for the earth. In caring for the earth, we appreciate the benefits she provides, never taking for granted the gift of wakefulness that we've been given. We live as a custodian of the life force that hosts and sustains our evolution from one level of consciousness to the next. From a grain of sand to a beautiful pearl, from a mustard seed to a garden of earthly delights. From womb to tomb, we are a product of the world we create, care for, and participate in. The sleeping soul takes these gifts for granted and lives as a parasite, presence, ungrateful for the present, but the idealized human honors the host as a mother and allows initiations into the complexities of infinity to give luster to life's light by living as a pearlized presence of grace and graciousness. And our final card will be representing the divine chakra. The divine feminine oracle will be used. Akhilanda, the goddess of never not broken. Everything happens for my liberation. I choose to become only more love. Many of us exert tremendous energy in the effort to not break or fall apart. We resist our grief, our heartbreak, or we deny the need to change until the choice no longer feels like it's ours. Something sideswipes us in our ordinary life and shatters who we think we are and how we identify ourselves. Here is what Akhilanda reminds us. Vulnerability is our greatest strength. If we are always broken, we can never break. She is the most intimate and personally powerful goddess because she meets us in those moments when we can feel most alone, most exposed, and most afraid. She models how to thrive in the midst of change. She uses pain to joyfully and purposefully transform us. She sees everything as an opportunity to realize what isn't serving her. And she knows that being broken isn't a failure or something we should avoid. It's actually the whole point. We are here to let our ideas of ourselves go up in flames, so that beneath the ashes, the soft core of who we truly are arises, and so that we remember that it's not heart that ever breaks, it's the ego. The heart only ever expands. That concludes this reading. Thank you for being here. I hope you found some profoundness in the words that I shared with you and in the images that are available. I do hope that you also join me again, and stay blessed and well. Thank you. Hello, wonderful souls. It's a pleasure to be sharing this reading with you today on March 29th. This is the Radiant Astro reading. It's a 13-card spread. Each position has a different deck for it, and we ask a question for each one of the positions. It is based on the idea that if all of our chakras were unified, we would become a source of radiance and light for the world, where we would be outpouring beautiful healing energy as opposed to needing to absorb that from our environment. So it is the hopes of our evolved self that we will be exploring in this reading. I do surround the central card with the traditional structure of Western astrology, so that each of those positions run from Aries to Pisces and the 1st to the 12th house, and can, if you're familiar with that system, add a little more meaning to the reading. So we begin with the first position in the center, and it's the overall theme for this reading. How can I silence my ego so my soul can shine? The message that we received is old feelings are resurfacing, and again you find yourself on an emotional roller coaster. Don't fight it. Instead, allow these feelings to surface without judging them. They are neither good nor bad. They are simply a part of you. Own them, embrace them, and love them. Bless the past, and be grateful for the deep and profound healing that is taking place. So in the position of Aries, we have the dog from the Chinese oracle. Our question is, how can I begin things with self-awareness for protection of my physical body, as well as be conscious of my mask and projections of myself onto others? The dog is a reliable, solid backing. Loyal, cooperative, dedicated, persistent, friendly. Regardless of how day and night alternate, how time passes by, the dog always stands behind the fairy as an accompany and a backer of the fairy forever. This did come up in the yin position, meaning love, and start with loving yourself. Our next card will be for Taurus, and our question is, how do my values generate resourcefulness, self-esteem, and wealth? From the Celtic Shaman's book, we have the Circle of 9. Its key word is experience. The second circle, or middle world, represents the spiritual dimension of the world in which we live our outer lives. The mundane world that lies all around us is familiar to us in immediate ways, yet it also has its non-ordinary or otherworldly aspect, inhabited by spiritual beings that may manifest as fairies, animals, or ancestral teachers. Centered upon the trunk of the tree of vision, it extends outwardly, horizontally to the world's end and beyond. It is visited especially to help solve problems that beset us in our daily lives. A circle of 9 stones radiates energy outward into the world. Above them rises the brilliant sun of inspiration. In the foreground, an opening capped with stones leads to the 3rd circle. 3 ancient stone objects guard the way. The Tantric Dakini oracle will be representing the next position of Gemini. The question being, how does my mindset influence my interactions and define my comfort zone? Magic carpet bears the number 27, signifying the positive influence of occult or celestial forces from above. It is the mystic number of the astrams, the star groups influencing the psyche, or a higher harmonic of the astral light. According to the classification by elements, this is an air card normally related to the suit of swords in the minor arcana of the traditional tarot. As if viewed from outer space, an exotic oriental carpet is seen flying high above the Persian Gulf. The image is a representation of the power of transport and elevation inherent in the mind. For a magic carpet is a flight of fancy. 4 celestial Buddhas sit at each corner of the carpet, in male or female aspects in tantric embrace. They are like guardians of the 4 directions of the inner mandala, the mystic circle of psychic protection. These Buddhas represent the ecstasy of transport out of the physical body and indicate the formalization or crystallization of the powers of visualization. Transport, in the literal, if located in the worldly parts of the tree of life or spiritual sense, can indicate a change of residence, especially if it comes up in the base center. This is referring to how this deck can be used in a tree of life spread. Meditate on this card as a form of the liberated spirit, the astral body, high aspirations along ecstatic lines, and the potency of a moment of harmony and balance. It evokes the concept of a vehicle linking the worlds of reality and surreality. Cancer. How can I implement self-care to nurture my feminine energy and emotions, as well as bring awareness to my subconscious programmed by my ancestry? We have the Prophet Oracle deck and the card, the vision of one lends not its wings to another. The astronomer may speak to you of his understanding of space, but he cannot give you his understanding. The musician may sing to you of the rhythm which is in all space, but he cannot give you the ear which arrests the rhythm, nor the voice that echoes it. And he who is first in the science of numbers can tell of the regions of weight and measure, but he cannot conduct you thither. For the vision of one man lends not its wings to another man. And even as each one of you stands alone in God's knowledge, so must each one of you be alone in his knowledge of God and in his understanding of the earth. We will be using an Egyptian shamanic oracle deck next for Leo. How can I enact play, self-expression, desires of my inner child, creativity, joy, risk-taking, and pleasure in my daily life? Sobek and Horus, reconciliation of opposites, forgiveness, understanding. Sobek and Horus represent two powerful opposing psychic forces found in all human beings. The old and the new parts of each of us. They appear together as adversarial allies to help us reconcile opposing forces and create a harmonious, balanced union within. The crocodile god Sobek represents strength and fortitude, fertility and rebirth. From Sobek, we inherited the reptilian brain that contains the ancient evolutionary patterns. It rules the automatic functions that have kept us protected, alive, and prepared to grow forward. Horus is the son of Isis and Osiris. In this oracle, he comes into maturity and prepares to step into his full power as the enlightened ruler. All pharaohs are called Horus. As a hawk-headed solar deity, he is associated with higher mental and spiritual functions. If you have drawn this card, it is time to take a deeper look at the energetic desire to evolve while stepping into a new way of being. You may experience a sense of conflict from the old self. In truth, it is willing but needs to know that what is of value will not be lost and that mistakes will not be repeated. This is an opportunity to take stock of the newer self that wants to evolve and step forward, and of the old self that wants to make sure you have a solid foundation to stand on. Drawing this card indicates that resolution is afoot. If there is a conflict in your life or something in the way of your forward or upward motion, meditating with these two seemingly opposing forces can bring you to a deeper understanding of a relationship or situation. It can also open the way of forgiveness. If you bump into that part of yourself that is closed to forgiveness, stay open. It is one of the most potent keys for resolution. For Virgo, we are using the Enchanted Spell Oracle. How can I give to myself and others for significant improvement? We have the card Illumination. Loved, peaceful, safe. Sage is the herb associated with this. Burning dried sage is a well-known way to cleanse the energy of a person's aura and living space. It has the power to protect and heal, to ground, and to inspire strength and courage. Sage has been used by many cultures around the world in religious ceremonies. This herb is recognized for its curative and antiseptic properties and is known to provide insights by stimulating the third eye chakra. The Illumination card depicts the priestess of illumination, a young woman with a rainbow flowing from her heart chakra. She is flanked by two stylized sage bushes. The illuminated text reads, "I am sending you light even now. Shine on, beautiful ones. You are loved." The image is designed to bring peace, healing, and love to anyone who needs it. The Illumination card appears when it is time to bring more light into your life. This can be on a physical or energetic level. An excellent way to start is to imagine yourself filled with bright white light whenever you think of it. You may also want to purify your home energetically. Stale and dense energy can become trapped and brewed in nooks and crannies, and you will want to flush it out. Libra is next. Our question is, how can I practice equality and sharing to forge alliances and resolve interpersonal conflicts? From the Goddess Power Oracle, we have Gula, healing. Gula, the Babylonian goddess of medicine and healing, has come to guide you as a blessing and for your well-being. You are being invited to address the areas of your life that need healing. Perhaps you have moved so quickly through your life that you've forgotten about self-care. Perhaps the stories you've told yourself about who you are need healing. We don't always see that we are hurting ourselves or others. Take heart, for Gula comes into your world as your ally, saying that now is the most auspicious time to focus on healing in all aspects of your life. Only good things will come from your actions here. In fact, now is also the perfect time when you can be assured that you can heal rifts with others as well. Be sincere and call upon her for this precious commitment. You may also be called to the path of the healer now. If so, the goddess supports this wholeheartedly. You just need to be willing, respect others, and do no harm. Miracles will arise as if out of nowhere. Scorpio. How do the renewal cycles of my life give opportunity for mystery, intimacy, transformation, and shadow work? From the Mystical Shaman Oracle, we have received the smoky mirror. The smoky mirror represents the aspects of what is implied yet cannot be immediately known in the world. The mystery of how things come together and how they fall apart without obvious causality. This symbol also represents the shadow of the human psyche, the part of the self that one disowns. The smoky mirror can also represent a state of denial or the inability or refusal to see the truth. When the symbol of the smoky mirror appears, you're invited to see beyond your own self. Acknowledge that past the limits of your current ability to perceive, there is a vast interconnected world where events are orchestrated in divine order, but challenging to fully grasp. Now is the time to trust that no matter what the current conditions of your world reflect, in the hidden realms, all aspects of the human journey are celebrated, the beauty and the darkness, the misery and the courage. No matter where you are on your journey, know that some things are meant to be a mystery, which you are meant to understand only through experience. Take heart, for the smoky mirror will ultimately show you beauty and wonder once the fog lifts the distortion you see now. Sagittarius, a yogic path deck is going to be used for this. Our question: how does my belief system generate meaning and encourage expansion beyond my comfort zone? Bhakti, devotion. You have begun walking on the path of devotion, Bhakti Yoga. You are devoted to something greater than yourself, your body, your possessions, or your desires. This dedication is to the divine. Now is the time to ask yourself, what does divinity mean to me? When do I feel close to divine? Paths to Bhakti Yoga include kirtan, devotional mantras, meditations, and prayers to the gods and goddesses, offering service to those in need, and spending time in nature. The selfless path of Bhakti Yoga takes you to the greatest ecstasy of all, the bliss of devoting yourself to spirit. Capricorn, how can I achieve my realistic yet challenging goals step by step? The Heart Path Oracle deck. Love is in the air. Everything is perfectly balanced. Everything in your life is perfectly balanced. There are beautiful light beings holding you up and bringing you that which you need. Optimistic Jupiter is magnifying all the attributes of the dog, cat, bird, and flower. Your family, whether here or on the other side of the veil, is proud of you and sending you positive energy. You have the creativity, strength, agility, and intelligence to follow your dreams. Remember, you are a child of the universe. You are here to bring love and balance to a world that needs your help. When you close your eyes, feel your heart and focus on your breathing. You contact that part of you that is universal, endless, and loving. Don't take anything too seriously and keep a sense of humor about things. Know that when people seem angry or impatient, it is not about you. Silently send them love and help them heal their imbalances. The bonus is the more you send love to others, the more love you get back. It is a universal law. This works for all life forms. Give yourself a mini vacation and look up at the clouds. Feel the love and beauty emanating from the heavens. Like your daisy, you are special and a bit unusual. Help others to see the extraordinary in the ordinary, and you will always be sought after. How lucky you are to see shooting stars anytime you want. I find balance, harmony, and peace in the beauty around me, and beauty is everywhere. Aquarius. How can my unique hopes and wishes be supported by others and heal the collective? From the Sacred Geometry Oracle deck, we have Golden Spiral, Divine Proportion. The Golden Spiral is the cosmic representation of ideal balance, universal harmony, and spiritual transformation. This spiral is the blueprint of all nature, and indeed of our humanness, from the double helix of our DNA to the spiral shape of galaxies. This piece of sacred geometry is container and accelerator of consciousness. This card connects you with the primordial whirlpool of creation, the cosmic soup from which we all emerge. Contemplate the immensity of this connection. You're not separate from God. You are not alone in the vastness of time and space. You are unity and oneness. You are connected to every particle of energy and light, to every wave in all of creation. Taking this into your everyday life, it becomes clear that there is no us and no them, no separateness. Realize the sacredness of the golden spiral and rejoice in knowing that you are part of the life flow of the universe and the one with the all that is. Learn more about the transcendental golden ratio, also known as the pi ratio, and a series of numbers called the Fibonacci series. They will offer access to the golden spiral wisdom. Pisces. How can I end the bondage of self-sabotage, involving karma, and repressions to become the bliss of self-transcendence instead? From the White Light Oracle, we have the card Perfume of Sophia. Trust that your question about your life will be answered. Even now, you are in the process of working your way toward the answers that will bring you clarity and higher understanding. There is a kindness in how the universe delivers a message. There is a story of 3 rabbis who went into a room and saw God. One rabbi dropped dead, the other went crazy, and the third one became enlightened. It was the same room and the same divine presence, so what accounts for the different outcomes? When we are ready for knowledge, divine guidance is incredibly helpful in healing. However, we may need certain experiences to become ready. There is as much grace in veiling a truth as in revealing it. There is a beautiful Sufi teaching that destiny is granted with compassion. There is a time to prepare for knowledge, a time to receive it, and a time to live it. There is a danger in trying to force knowledge. Force is the desire to progress faster than is naturally taking place. It is a disconnection from natural rhythms, the sacred feminine, the power of knowing, and divine timing. The oracle of the perfume of Sophia asks you to trust your nose. The spiritual symbolism of the ability to smell is the capacity for discernment. In the words of Juliet in Romeo and Juliet, a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. The nose knows. If you are pushing for a resolution, an answer, and understanding before it is time for you to know, you'll feel frustrated. It will be more constructive and enjoyable for you to engage with what is. Will it require the development of your character, the capacity for patience, for trust and faith, for commitment and devotion, even when there is no evidence you shall succeed? Yes, likely it shall, especially if you are carving a path that is unique and creative. To live in such a way is wonderfully courageous and inspired, and requires spiritual maturity. Aligning yourself with a greater wisdom and timing, and surrendering yourself in its service is the basis of spiritual maturity. You will have your answers, and in the interim, you are doing beautifully. Continue with your journey. Thus ends the reading for the Radiant Astro theme here. My absolute joy to share it with you. I hope that you found some enlightenment in it, and that you will share that if you feel the need to. Take care, blessed beings. Welcome, friends. Thank you for joining me at the Oracle of the Feather Crown Tree for March 29th's Sacred Directions reading. This is a 5-card spread. The center card represents our will, and I will explain the other positions of the directions as we go around and their respective meanings. I use a different deck for each position in all my readings, and we read from the books that come with the decks for interpretations. And I always ask a question for each position. So we will begin with the center, and our question will be, how can I cultivate more beauty and harmony in my life through learning and self-awareness? From the Oracle of the Radiant Sun, we have the Influence card. The mental expression of the Mercury Libra character is primarily influenced by a concern with human interaction and close relationships. There is a delicacy about the Mercury Libran who prefers the company of the reserved and cultured. Their innate curiosity about the workings of other people's thoughts, processes, make Mercury Librans essentially sociable and friendly in outlook. Those with this planet or sign combination need plenty of healthy discussion and amiable argument to exercise their natural capacity for seeing both sides of any question. For them, ideas are best developed in brainstorming sessions with partners, where everyone's ideas are assimilated and developed together. Teamwork is undoubtedly the ideal mode of operation for Librans, and they find relationships most fulfilling when they are filled with good conversation and shared intellectual interests. Being able to see others' points of view, the Libran has excellent arbitration and diplomatic talents. For this reason, people with this combination tend to gravitate to such subjects as psychology, public relations, sociology, and law. Negatively, there is a danger that, in constantly being fair to all, the Mercury Libran may find it impossible to come down firmly on one side of a question. When this card is drawn, it suggests that the inquirer should take a second opinion from a respected colleague about the present question. Events this could represent are being tempted by others, a group venture, needing others' good advice, a renewed relationship that blossoms, the inspiration of a hero. The coiled serpent's tongue in this card is the astrological sigil for the planet Mercury. It represents smooth talk, persuasion, and temptation. In the first relationship, Adam and Eve walk in the garden unaware of danger. Beneath the roses, thorns. Our next position is the East, representing spirituality and fire. Our question is, how can I guide the present moment of my life towards being emboldened with the highest spiritual truths? From the Dragon Oracle deck, we have the Royal Blue and Gold Dragon. Strengthens you to stand in your power and wisdom. Awaken to your own majesty. Wear your cloak of power with pride. Royal blue and gold are the colors of majesty, dignity, and achievement. Royal blue and gold dragons carry these qualities and prompt us to stand in our magnificence and true power. These fifth dimensional dragons come to us when they see royal blue and gold in our aura, indicating that we hold wisdom with power in perfect balance, which has been earned from our connections with the golden era of Atlantis. We may have been incarnate, or in spirit at that time, but we were living or serving on a higher path. The dragons will swirl around us, reminding us who we truly are and breathing light into our energy fields to reawaken our ancient gifts and talents so that we can utilize them once more in service. They will re-energize our cloak of power and wisdom so that we can wear it with pride. A royal blue and gold dragon is lighting up the gifts and talents you carry in your aura. It is breathing courage, support, and dignity into you so that you can wear your cloak of power and wisdom with pride. Most important of all, it is awakening you to who you truly are. It is enabling you to radiate your special light. This dragon is always with you. It holds your sword of truth, so Archangel Michael can enable you to speak and act with truth and honor at all times. It roars at those who try to diminish you and befriends those who empower you. You have all the support you need to teach divine majesty by example. The South is next, which represents the emotions and water. How can I give of myself through respectful expression of feelings to secure trust? And from the Hawaiian Wisdom Oracle deck, we have Ano Ano, which means seed or intention. This is a very long entry, so I'm going to abbreviate some of it. Humans, like guardian spirits, have both a heavenly and earthly nature. This dual nature is apparent in the way our thoughts work to shape our inner and outer worlds. Heavenly and abstract thoughts form the seeds of real conditions in our lives. Ano Ano means seed and figuratively offer of spring. The word Ho'ano means to take a definite shape, and so our nature weaves our reality. Our lives become the offspring of our thoughts and of our dreams. Thoughts are seeds that may grow into reality. Those who use and practice creative visualization claim that it is quite possible to use one's thoughts to direct the shape reality takes. A teacher of Hawaiian spirituality says, "Where attention goes, energy flows. Therefore, to exercise one's will is to shape. Reality is power, or mana." Another Hawaiian word closely related to Ano Ano is Anoa no, which means awe, reverence, peacefulness, sacredness, holiness, fear, or oppression. It may grow to a shape, a reality in which any of these states may blossom. In order to grow awe, reverence, peacefulness, sacredness, and holiness, our gardens must be planted with seeds of the same. All of these states involve respect, trust, and detachment from the desire to control or manipulate. Without such seeds underlying our intentions, it is quite possible to become oppressed by our desires, our need for control, or our attachment to outcomes. Perhaps this is why many spiritual teachers warn against attempting to manipulate and control reality. Buddhist and Hindu teachers warn that when you begin meditation, you may experience new psychic abilities and power, yet they advise students to ignore them. Stories are told of those who use their newfound powers for their own gain, often straying from the path of enlightenment. Jesus Christ taught that the way to pray is to surrender one's will to the will of God. One prayer that reflects these teachings says, "I will do thy will." And then we have a card in the east, which is representing the earth and our physical existence. How can I persevere through challenges to manifest my vision based on meaning? From the Dreamtime reading cards, we have Moth, the shadow self. The moth played a major part in the diet of some of the traditional peoples of Australia. It is a very large moth, almost as long as your hand. The moths gather together at certain times of the year to mate and lay their eggs. Many language groups would join together to feast on these moths, which were a fantastic food source, full of good fats and proteins when they were in season. It is because the bogong moth was so important in the traditional diet of some of the Aboriginal people that it was shared communally. This needed a high level of trust between different groups and also tolerance of each other's differences. The moth as a messenger is associated with hidden meanings and information. It also represents your shadow self, or those parts of yourself you prefer not to show others. Because the moth is a nocturnal insect and is able to see in the darkness and gravitate towards the light, it asks you to be honest about what inner fears or issues you are being encouraged to bring forward into the light. A moth looks dull until a moon or light illuminates the shine of the silver dust coating its wings, allowing its true magic and beauty to be seen. And then from an Aztec oracle deck for the north position, which represents the intellect or air, our question will be, how can I detach from negative states of thinking so that my story makes my dreams come true? We have the god of magic, Tepeolotl. His name means the heart of the mountain and is a deified form of jaguar. In the Aztec cosmology of the five suns, Jaguar created the first sun. This is why Jaguar is associated with the act of magic. All things started with Jaguar, and it is said that at the end, when the earth shakes, an earthquake brings the fifth sun to a close, Jaguar shall be there as well. Tepeolotl's powers include the ability to see the future and to shape shift the twin powers of magic. His priesthood was known for their use of hallucinogenic plants, such as Paye, also known as ayahuasca. Medicine men from all over Central and South America knew of the powers of this plant and used it to diagnose and heal the sick, to detect the arrival of enemies, to foretell events, to forestall disaster, and literally to see the gods, the animals, and the natural order of the universe. The priests of the god of magic would take on the physical and vocal attributes of the jaguar, see visions of giant jaguars swallowing them, and in some instances report actual physical transformation. Jaguar medicine included healing by rubbing burned jaguar skin onto a snake bite and raking the skin of the patient with jaguar claws. The god of magic's appearance in your reading today represents the potential force of magic. Magic is no more and no less than a conscious act of creation by combining three elements simultaneously: will, desire, and imagination. Whether one is a trained mage, wise woman, or medicine man, or simply a motivated amateur, these principles are available to us all. Will is a focused mental commitment to accomplish the task at hand. This is a powerful and non-wavering focus that allows nothing to intervene to distract your attention. In fact, the word attention can be substituted for the word will quite easily. Desire, also known as intention, is a burning emotional drive that takes over the body and propels it forward until the focal point of the desire becomes realized. This powerful feeling can be illustrated by comparing it to the use of a magnifying glass and starting a fire. Light is gathered and narrowly focused on a single point until the heat rises to the temperature of ignition. Desire is the focus of emotion. Will is the focus of the mind. Imagination is the creative womb that ultimately shapes our actions. Use your imagination to visualize the desired end result of your creative act. Employ all three elements simultaneously, and magic is born. It is time to incorporate the principles described above to manifest your goal in a manner at hand. The application of will, desire, and imagination will make your goal attainable and your life richer. That concludes our readings for today. I really appreciate you guys being with me. Always such an honor to share these readings with you. Please share them with others as you feel needed. Take care, and many blessings to anyone sharing this, and especially those with their solar return on this day. Hope to be with you soon.